I will show you today how the bank turns a small interest rate into giving them big money. So listen, I'm going to put this on the screen right now. I need you to understand that the bank's math ain't mathin', and we're in the financial situation we're in today because we're following the advice of the financial experts. It's not because you've been irresponsible with money. Don't let them put that on you. It is not because you're not doing it right. Don't let them put that on you. You're in the financial situation you're now in because you're following best practices given to you from the financial community. And when you follow that advice, it's not getting you where you want to go. It may make you feel better for a little while, but it's not getting you anywhere close to where you need to be, paying off the debt. It doesn't do that. Refinancing doesn't do that. I'm going to show you what's going on with these loans right now. We're going to put this down here, and we're going to put an amortization schedule on the screen right about now so that you can see how the bank's math ain't mathin'. We're going to put a $200,000 mortgage online, 6%, okay? $200,000 mortgage at 6%, and boom, there we go. And now, a payment is $11.99.10. Now, here's what happens when you make that very first payment. Oh, well, let's look at the summary. And most people kind of overlook this altogether. I'm borrowing $200,000. At the closing table, they must disclose to you how much interest you're supposed to pay, $231,676. And listen, they may say a little something about, don't worry about it. You can pay extra. You could do a biweekly payment. But what they don't tell you at the closing table is how all of that works. What they don't tell you at the closing table is that you can literally, with the budget that you qualified with this loan, the budget that you're using to qualify for this loan, and they want you to take 30 years, you can actually pay this loan off in about 7 years and live well while you're doing it and increase your savings. What? Pay it off in 7 and increase your savings at the same time? Listen, without making any more money. Yes, without making any more money. Why? Because they're overcharging you in the first place because of how they do the math. 6% ain't 6%. So I need you to take a look at this, and we're going to break it down. How many people deserve to know how loans really work? How many people? How many here deserve to know how this works? I'm going to break it down. We're going to put a calculator on the screen. I'm going to show you what the bank is doing here, but you can't put any bad words in the chat. Well, maybe one or two, maybe some soft ones. So Ryan Scott says, I want to know. All right. Miss Birdsong watching us online from YouTube, she says, I want to know. Let's show you how we do that. Now, this is going to be crazy. When you make that first payment of $11.99.10, all right, folks, here's what we're doing. Right now, you're going to see that when you make this payment, only $199.10 of your money goes to principal. Only $199.10 goes to principal, and $1,000 goes to interest. How many think that's right? Does that seem right to you? You're working hard. You're making a payment of $1,199.10. Now, this is just the principal and interest. We're not talking about the taxes and insurance. We're just talking about the principal and interest. 1,000 of your dollars goes to interest. Here's the first part of the math ain't mathin' today. The bank's math ain't mathin'. Let me show you. When you know how much interest you pay, you put the interest amount in your calculator. Then you divide it by the entire payment. Okay. So now you're going to divide it by $1,199.10. The number you get is 83.3. You know what that means? That means 83% of your payment is interest. This is why the bank's math ain't mathin', folks. 83% of your payment is interest. Can I break that down even further? Because, you know, when you talk to the economists will break it down this way and tell you that when you're talking about your payment dollar, here's your payment dollar with your housing dollar. Out of your housing dollar at this point, just $1, 83 cents of that dollar goes to pay interest. And only 17 cents out of that dollar buys your house. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Listen, I'm at your door. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to let you know that you don't have to do this. I'm trying to get into your house, into your head, that this is what's going on. It's been going on for 89 years. 89 years. People need to know. You deserve to know. T. Johnson says that should be illegal. Where 83 cents out of your every dollar and 17 cents is paying for your mortgage. That is crazy. So now, how do they get 6% to be 115.838%? How do they do that? I'm going to put the math here on the screen for you. So now, here's how we do it. What you do first is you take your 6% interest rate, okay? Brooks says, that's how they're making money. Listen, that is extreme profit, Miss Brooks, extreme profit, okay? But there's a weakness in their system. I need you to remind me to show you the weakness in their system. Right now, you think their system is invincible, but it's not. This is why there's no education on it. Do you realize that the person who sold you your mortgage doesn't take a class on how mortgages work? The banks don't teach their employees how this works because they don't want it to get out and for you to find out. Because once you know, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it once you know. Watch this. So we're going to put in 6%. That is 0.06 into the calculator. We're going to divide it by 12. So whatever the interest rate is, divide it by 12. So we're going to divide that by 12. And this is what we get, 0.005. Then you take this number and multiply it by the unpaid balance. So we made our first payment. We now owe $199,800.90. Okay, $199,800.90. So we're going to take the 0.005 and multiply it by the unpaid balance. So when we multiply it times $199,800.90, like that, and we get $999. That's how they figure out the interest. They take 1/12 of the interest rate and multiply it by the unpaid balance 360 times. So it's not one mortgage. You thought you were getting one mortgage. No, folks. Every single month you get a brand new mortgage and they charge you for it. So you have 360 mortgages, not one.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.